Roo, I said I was concerned about your mental state, but this is actually a very, very serious story. Polly Farmer, known as a real genius in the world of football, as a footballer, he was ahead of his time, people say.
Pioneered the handball,
Yep,
didn't he?
yep, that's right. And as a ruckman, very clever. Anyway, the scientists, the medical profession have done a study on his brain. Now, he passed away. They've done a study on his brain and found that he had what's called CTE, which is neurodegenerative disease. And it turns out that his family and friends said that later in life he became very, very angry, very moody, had dementia, and there were all sorts of issues associated with it.
Alzheimer's.
Yeah, Alzheimer's, right? So, and it reminds me of Greg Williams, who I remember seeing him on 60 Minutes one night talk a lot about the fact that he couldn't even remember his own kids' names.
Birth dates.
We know John Platten has been in the media talking about this sort of thing as well.
Yep.
So it's very serious. And I raise this because, as you know, I'm very, very guilty, I have been in recent years, of saying, the AFL's gone soft and they keep changing rules, and I can't believe people get wiped out for bumps these days and things. But it turns out it is a major concern. And people like me, perhaps, I don't know, I guess need to be a bit more sensible about this. But, I mean, we only saw last weekend that from a hip and shoulder, players are cited because they were careless and the hip and shoulder made contact with a player's head. And I still think some of those things are very, very accidental. But I guess if we get tougher on those rules, it'll make people think about the way they do bump, Roo, won't it? And how they hip and shoulder.
Yeah, well, Matt Crouch got a $2,000 fine because it was an accident and no result of it. But a North Melbourne player got 2 weeks because he knocked a bloke out, got concussion.
But we're hearing about a lot of ex-players coming forward with these sorts of issues, Roo.
There's been a $1 billion lawsuit in American football as a result of it.
So how do you see this issue at the moment? When we see players wiped out because of a bump,
Yep.
have we gone too far, or is it the right thing to do?
Well, I think you have to try and predict the future, and there's a lot of evidence to show that there is issues down the track from numerous concussions during your career, from head knocks. So if they don't do anything about it, they are going to get their pantsuit off, and it could sink the game. Who knows? If you have $1 billion suit or, something like that in a AFL, it's a lot different to the American football. So
do you know how many times you were knocked out?
I have had probably, 10, 20 concussions at least.
10 or 20?
Yeah, at least. I had them when I was a kid. I had to start wearing a helmet when I was still in primary school. I remember, I've said this on radio before, I went to football training at the Wakery Oval with, you remember the old the helmets that cyclists used to wear? The padded, the funny, stupid-looking ones? Well, I got halfway around the oval and flung it off because I was getting teased that much wearing that. Yeah. But I'd had a couple of concussions as a kid because I used to go and get the footy head first. I had heaps of concussions before I even started AFL. It talks about Polly Farmer's kid saying how his dad used to be on the couch with a bucket spewing into a bucket. I've spewed up plenty of times after games from concussion, and lots of footballers have. It's part of the game. I've played games of football, so I played over 300. I reckon there would be 20 games I would have played with blurred vision. Where you have just like, I don't know how to explain it, but
sort
it's
of fuzzy
like
in the head.
Fuzzy flashes out of one eye, and it's that bad you can't play. You actually got to go off because you got no awareness. And you got to wait sort of half an hour, 40 minutes for it to get good enough to go back on. When you go back on, it's like making it 10 times harder to play than if you've got both eyes working.
We know that Brad Ebert, who comes in and visits us, he had serious issues last year, didn't he?
He did.
There's a current player who is going through this sort of thing. So, Roo, how concerned are you?
Not really. Oh, well, look, I can't do anything about it.
You can't. But
I'm not going to get worried about something I can't do. I hope I don't end up being have Alzheimer's or dementia at 60 or something like that. If I get it at 80 or something like that, well, everyone dies of something. But and maybe we'll be able to do something to help it. I don't know, but I can't do anything about it. I wouldn't change it. If I was 18, I'd play AFL footy again. Were we a bit reckless going back out in the field? Probably. Should players have a week off if they get concussion? Probably.
Remember, we talked about that story last week. The AFL has changed that rule. You need to, on a Tuesday now, you need to be passing the test rather than, say, on the Friday, the day before the game. If you're not right by Tuesday, you won't play.
If medicine shows that will help people in the long term, then we should do that.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a smart move. They should definitely do that. So, and footy's changed it. So there's now more people around the ball than there was years ago. There was a lot more space in the 70s, 80s and 90s. Now there's a lot more people around the ball, so there's a lot more collision injuries.
Yep.
So they need to be more mindful of it. So I think it's responsible administration to do it. No one wants the game to be soft. We love the hard part of the game, but we don't want to see players, punch drunk when they're 45 either. I don't know.
Yep, fair enough. All right, Ruined It's here on Triple M.